People have this reoccurring nightmare that there's something, some force that's got a hold of them and it's holding them down and they can't break free. No matter what they do, they can't break free from that force. Well, I'm here to tell you that that thing in your nightmare, that thing that's holding you back, that thing that's dragging you down, that thing is you.
There are two fundamental attitudes toward life and its sorrows. Those with the first attitude blame the world. Those with the second ask what they could do differently. It's much easier and much more gratifying to your basest desires to blame someone else for your misery.
You know what's so funny? We want people to make guarantees to us, but we're not willing to make guarantees to ourselves. And that's the problem with some of you. You always want to blame other people. You owe you an explanation. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why are you only giving 50%? What's wrong with you? You need to put yourself on punishment. You need to tell you no more TV, no more snacks, no more desserts. No, we working out now. You need to tell you that you owe you something.
Every day I demand more from myself than anybody else could humanly expect. I'm not competing with somebody else, I'm competing with what I'm capable of. My number one competition is me. It's always you versus you. You gotta be the one to get up every morning, be disciplined, put in the consistent daily hard work, because that gains success. No coach, no trainer, no mentor, no boss can do it. You versus you.
I value myself enough to give 120% or don't do it. There is no excuse for not living up to your fullest potential. No excuse. You walk out of this room, you owe yourself. I didn't get here making excuses. What changed? I changed. And I stopped being a victim. I stopped saying I've got to wait for good things to happen to me. And I said I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day to become a victor and not a victim. Why? Because I owe it to myself. Can't nobody stop me but me.
What up, if I can get my mic working, right? What up? Man, a victor, not a victim. I think that can relate to a lot of us watching this, right? Today, we're going to be talking about subprime, aka custom finance. We're going to be talking about some of the opportunities that you know is available, but we're just not tapping into them, right? I know a lot of dealers and finance managers that are watching this right now might be saying, we do subprime. We do custom finance, right? We do a fair amount of it, but there's more there. There's more opportunity. There's a better way to do business, I promise you. There's a better way, a better process. You have to have a champion, first of all. You have to have someone that's willing to champion subprime or custom finance department. It's a job. It's tough, right? You deal with bad credit customers. You deal with people that are aggravating. You deal with a lot of stips. You deal with banks that are difficult to get funded. You deal with a lot. And there is a lot. But on the flip side, there can be a lot of dough. There can be a lot of green. There could be a lot of cash flow that comes from that. First, I want to recap about some of the market trends, what we're seeing right now, right? The average vehicle price is about $50,000. That's up about $15,000 over the last 5 years. That's a lot. 50 grand's the average price. 84-month terms are increasing with this. And on the subprime or custom market topic, some of our lenders are increasing the programs or tweaking the programs to fit the market. One of those being 84 months or longer terms than usual. Why is this? Because the bank needs the loans to stay operating, to stay efficient, to stay afloat. So they're opening and widening their parameters for some of these people, including some of these sub 600 scores. Rising subprime growth. It's why we're talking about it today and in the future. 70%, it's up. Remote deals are up 70% over the last 4 years. 70% increase. A 70% increase of anything is a lot, but this is a highlight. Since COVID, people have been able to buy things from their couch, from their office, from a walk or a run. I was on my run the other day and we bought something for the house, and it was literally, I was on Amazon, hit buy now, and I kept running, right? That's the convenience level that we need to be focusing on when it comes to purchasing vehicles, because if we aren't, someone else is, and you want people to come to you, right? At least I do. That's how you get paid. So we need to think of those things. $50,000 average vehicle, terms are increasing, programs are stretching, a rise in subprime, and a massive increase in remote deals. That's what we're talking about. At least we're talking about right now. And I know there's trends, there's ebbs and flows and ups and downs, but right now we're talking about affordability, right? Affordability. We're talking about credit, keeping people's credit. Credit's like gold, right? We want to help build their credit, not only for a credit or for a purchase from us, but maybe a new home, maybe credit cards that they need to keep afloat, right? Now, it's not ideal, but you got to do what you got to do, right? And helping people do things more than just buying a car and seeing the bigger picture, that's how we make an impact. I'm going to recap real fast. The 5 P's of F&I. If you get anything else, if you don't get anything else, you need to get this, right? The 5 P's. Number 1, don't prejudge your people. Don't prejudge your customer. How easy is that to do, especially my veterans in the room? Don't prejudge them. Price for profit. I want to challenge everyone in this room to ask for at least $500 more on all ancillaries and at least $800 to $1,200 more on your VSE. You might be thinking, well, Evan, I'm asking the max amount. No, you're not, right? There is no max amount. There might be a max contract amount or a max amount that you're able to write that contract through your dealer preferences, but it's a negotiating sheet. It's a menu and iPad. It's all a negotiating might happen. Here's the opportunities in front of you. And what happens when we price for profit is that it leaves us somewhere to go. If you start, write this down. If you start where you want to be, you will never get to where you need to be. If you start where you want to be, you'll never get to where you need to be. What does that mean? If I have $5,000 of available back end and I start my first menu by presentation or pencil at $5,000 and they say no, which that's number 1 rule, right? We shoot for the no, so they should say no. But they say no, what do? I'm backed in a corner. So making sure that we price for profit so that we have that negotiating room if need be, which we probably will. That's the way things fall, right? Usually. Also using the give versus take method, but we're not gonna go on that branch. Don't prejudge, price for profit, prescribe, lead, don't be led. Diagnose them. They want to be told what to do, whether they voice that or feel like that or not. They need expert guidance. You're the expert. Protect, defend the customer, the dealership, and everybody involved at all costs. Protect. We're not just selling fake protection. We're not just selling a piece of paper. We're selling the idea that they are safe. The idea of if something was to happen, a what if that we usually don't think is going to happen, but it does. I got your back. We got your back as a dealership. Don't prejudge, price for profit, prescribe, protect, and present every deal every day, every line, every time. Execute the pitch, man. Write it down, take a screenshot. These 5 P's helped develop me to $3,000 a car and plus, right? Very foundational but pivotal things you need to write down. Another recap we need to focus on is the triangle: relationships, products, and processes. Take a screenshot of this or write these down. I want you to pick one area in each part of the triangle to focus on every month. My relationships with the lenders, my relationship with my salespeople, my BDC floor, my detail team, my underwriters, my funders, my product reps, all the things, right? My products, do I have the right products? Am I selling the right products for the type of inventory that we have? And I need to educate myself on that continuously. Processes, do I have a defined process for my remote deals, my cash deals, my leases, my outside liens, my normal finance deals, all the types of deals you do on a daily basis? Do I have the right processes? I want you to pick one little thing from each one and focus on it monthly. Okay, now let's dive in. dive into subprime or custom finance, as I like to call it. For us, it was 600 or below. I know in some areas you're like, dude, that's prime, right? That's freaking prime. If I get a 600 credit score, I am thrilled, right? And in some areas, they're like, whoa, 600 credit score. Like, we don't go below 700. We don't know what to do. We've only got U.S. Bank, Bank of America, PNC Bank, all those prime lenders, right? Diversification. We need to diversify our portfolio. But with this, hopefully over the next few weeks, we stop to see this decline, denied, whatever you might want to see it, right? We stop seeing these disappointed face on these customers because they have families, they have friends, they have employees, they have a life as well, and you don't understand how much we can impact other people. First, let's come to the realization that this is going to be a four-week or a four-session process, right? I'm going to start today with the intro, some terminology, some language, some different foundational things, and we'll have homework at the end. But we're going to build this. This is not something that is overnight. And this is not something that you're going to have built by the end of this window. End of these 4 courses, you're not going to have everything that you need. You're going to have the foundation and the bulk of what you need. And I need your creativity. This needs to be a two-way relationship, not a one-way. I need you to invest in this custom finance journey. Prime customers buy convenience. Custom finance customers buy trust. How many of you all relate to this, right? Prime customers buy convenience. Custom finance customers buy trust. How many times has a 540 been at a dealership in the last month? How many times has a 540 been declined and told, I'm sorry, I can't do anything for you? How many times did that 540 have kids with them? How many times did that 540 have to call a significant other, a friend, a family member to co-sign for them and still couldn't get it done, right? How many times did that 500 score get told no? Do you know what it means to be that person that's able to tell them yes, right? That's able to get the deal done without a cosigner, or maybe a cosigner that's not an 850. You know what it means to get the deal done, that they don't have to have 50% down like they're used to, or buy here, pay here on a vehicle that probably hasn't been serviced or checked. It's been, the inspection was start, stop, steer, right? Maybe. The impact, and this is why I'm starting this way, is because we have to understand our impact as we develop this subprime or custom finance. And I'm referencing it as subprime so that most of you understand what I'm talking about. Eventually, I'm just going to say custom, okay? But subprime / custom finance, what does it do for our dealership? But more importantly, what does it do for the people that we help? So don't start this if you're just here to make another buck. Don't start this journey if you're just here to find out how to make an extra $250 on your PVR or to sell more VSEs. That will be an outlier or an outcome of this. But I don't want you, the purpose has to be there, and if it's not, you're not going to do the things that are required to succeed at the level that I'm wanting you to, right? So we have to be passionate. We have to know our why. We have to understand that it's going to be nitty-gritty. You're going to have more phone calls with banks than you've ever had in your life. You are going to be on the phone with these people, these customers, more than any other client. You're going to have difficult situations, but you also are going to have glorious situations where you take a 540 and you get them bought. You're able to sell them some protection, some back end. You get them a vehicle that maybe they're not too thrilled about, but it gets them to A to B. And 3 years from now, they come back to you and say, hey, I built my credit. I got some of those things off of there that we were talking about last time. And now I'm able to pick what I want. I'm a 680. I'm a 700. I've seen the 540 go to 700 in a couple years, right? The big impact that we're going to be able to have with these people is immense. So start out with your why. Start out with why am I doing this and the purpose behind it. The next thing is our language shift. When we did this at our store, it was pivotal. Going from subprime to custom finance. What do you think that does in the mentality of that customer, right? What do you think that mentality is if they hear across the room an 800 score getting a certain type of deal worked, and then you come over to them and say, hey, man, I got to go to my subprime department, and the other person hears it and looks over at them, right? It's degrading. It's not good. Any negative type of language. Language is something that's uniquely important, right? Language is something that our conversations, our words have a massive impact on the people that we're speaking to. Make them as positive as they can be. Stop saying subprime, start saying custom finance. I'll know if you've seen this video because you're not going to say subprime, you're going to say custom finance. High risk deal, let's talk structured deal. Bad credit buyer, credit building customer, credit building opportunities. Shotgunning the deal, we're going to strategically place your lender. We can't get this approved. Let me find the right structure, right? That one hits home. We can't get this approved, and let me find the right structure. Massively different, exact same meaning, though. Exact same meaning. Let me find the structure that will fit this scenario, right? I'm going to do whatever I can. We will have the option to have a deal at the end of this. Now, it might require more out of you than it does us, or vice versa. You might need a cosigner. You might need more money down. We might need to go lower term and a higher payment. We might need to be on a vehicle that you aren't in love with. We might have to do some shit that none of us want to do. But I promise you, I will have a car. I will have a deal by the time that you're ready to walk out of this showroom, or that we come to a meet in the middle. There's an opportunity. Think about the things you're saying. Language is super important, especially with our clients. The psychology of the custom finance customer, right? They're going to have one, embarrassment. They're going to have distrust, anxiety, defensiveness. The best thing, if you get it done, they're going to have gratitude, right? Something with embarrassment, maybe they're thinking they're judging me, right? With distrust, they'll bait and switch me. I won't get approved. I've been there. I've heard that. I've done all the things. We need to normalize the conversations. We have to lead with empathy. Set realistic expectations. Set realistic expectations. Our process, and we're about to go into the development of our process. Number one is have a process. Number two is write it down and get everybody to agree on it, right? I talked about that in the beginning of the video. Having specific processes for specific deals. Well, subprime custom finance is one of them. We have to have specific processes that everyone understands and that someone's holding that person accountable to. That's why we need a champion. We need a senior finance person. We need a desk guy. We need somebody to champion it. And if you're a one-man show, hey, it's pretty easy to elect who's going to do it, right? Champion it. We got to have a champion in that area. But our words massively impact us in the ways that these people have been spoken to in the past is just not acceptable. It's not acceptable. We have to change that mentality. We get to change. Not that we have to. We get to change the negative stigmas associated with the automotive industry. And this is a massive, massive, massive way that we can do it. Massive way. Totally underutilized way on dealers all across the nation. So let's create a process and everyone adhere to it, right? Custom finance is not a credit problem. It's a process problem. We just talked about that, right? Custom finance is not a credit problem. It's a process problem. I've got 400s done before. I've done paperwork for a 390. A 390. That should never happen, right? And if we didn't have the right process, which entailed had the right inventory with the right lenders, with the right scenarios, with the right relationships with all the right people and the right products to protect them, it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. Have a process that works, that's duplicatable, that's scalable, that we can build on. This is what that process should look of or consist of somewhat. I'm not saying every number has to be this in that exact order, but every deal is a deal. Write that down, highlight it, mark on it, bold it. Every deal is a deal. Every deal is a deal. There is a way, right? Number one, we start with a lead, right? It comes in some way. It's sourced somehow. There's a lead. Second, we need to have an interview. We need to call the customer ourselves, right? Not just the salesperson, the experienced champion of subprime or your BDC agent, whoever's handling these lead sources needs to know more about custom finance than the person applying for it. That sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Imagine a 500 score that's tried to buy a car for 3 years, been shot over to 30 different lenders, had 14 different welcome calls, experienced all these different logins, the different things they had to do to buy the car, right? Or not buy the car or get to that point. They've learned a lot along the way. So we need to be more experienced than the actual customer themselves. Think of it that way. They're in the trenches every day. They got the credit score. We don't, right? They understand it. So we need to understand it as well. Interview, verify the information, get the steps, right? Get the steps up front. I understand, Mr. Customer. It's like, hey, they start fighting you about it. Why do I need to get your pay stub? You know why we have to get a pay stub. We're on the phone for a reason, right? You're a 520 score, you're a 480 score, you're a 610, whatever it might be. I don't want to show you something that I'm not able to do. That line worked for me a lot. I don't want to show you something that we're not able to do for you. I'm just not that person. I could show you all these different things and all these vehicles, and then we not be able to get the loan approved or funded. It's not me. I want to show you realistic options that work for you and I, for the bank, for the dealer, and everybody involved. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to verify steps up front. I'm going to work the structure. I'm going to work my PTI, my DTI, payment to income, debt to income, if you're not familiar with it. If you're not, you need to. The average payment to income's 15 to about 21%, depending on your credit score, depending on the place that you're going, the lender that you're going with. 15 to 21% is about average, what they'll accept. DTI, debt to income. Where's the ratios? Where's the money going? Is there any left? Right? Lender, placement. Where are we sending it? Be strategic. Be a sniper. I'd say a sniper with a shotgun bullet. Right? Like, I want to be able to pinpoint and hit it, but it might spread out a little bit. I mean, you're going to have 3 to 5 to 7 lenders on these instances. It's just the way it is, right? It's just the way it is. I would say an average, we'll say subprime 550 score or lower, you're going to send it to at least a handful of lenders. At least some of them book out different. Some of them use different things. Some of them allow better backend or a different protection. It's just, you're going to have to. So setting up the expectations with that customer, you're going to get some inquiries on your credit. That's not the worst thing that's ever happened to your credit, right? Present every deal, every day, every line, every time. Regardless if the bank says that they can buy it, there's multiple ways. You could have someone that could stroke a check for a $4,000 warranty or a bundle package because they feel it's that valuable. You know they need gap, right? It's pretty much a given on a subprime deal when you're at 22% interest on a used vehicle going 72 months on a 10-year-old car. You need gap, right? That's pretty self-explanatory. But all the other things, maybe they've never been explained it and they didn't know how important it was until they came across your desk. Setting up, present every deal, every day, every line, every time. Even SPP options. Hey, you can pay out of pocket and it can be 0%, and this is how we're going to do it, right? Be creative. Fund the deal. Make sure it's fundable. That is one of the most important, if not the importance of doing custom finances. Making sure the deal is fundable. Making sure the deal is fundable. That can mean a lot of different things, but making sure that we have a fundable deal. Following up with that person, making sure that they do the welcome call, making sure that they get their app set up with the lender, making sure that they're happy with their purchase, making sure that they have 3 friends that they're going to send your way. Because I will tell you, from my experience, subprime or custom finance deals, they have the biggest mouth, right? Whether it's good or bad, that's your go, man. It's all your decision. Whether they spread the word good or spread the word bad, that's up to you, but they are going to spread the word regardless. So make sure that they have a good experience. They have friends as well. If you can get them done, more than likely you can help their friends. Their friends probably have better credit than them, than their family. I've done paperwork with 800s that was a referral from a 600 or a 400. It happens, right? Work the books, work the referrals, follow up with the customer. In these deal scenarios, grit matters. Grit matters. The tenacity, the fight, the education, all of that matters more than ever. And I promise, if you can master closing a 500 score or a 450 beacon, you can master all of it. There's very few people in this industry that have a wide spectrum of abilities when it comes to this custom finance. They usually take the low-hanging fruit. They move on from 700 and above. Maybe they can work a 650, but structuring a 500, a 520, a 400s, it's tough, man. Grit is everything. So moving into this, watching these different sections or sessions, just understand it's going to be gritty. It's going to be tough. Take some notes. Make sure that we're showing up. Make sure that we're asking questions. Please don't leave me out of the loop. I'm sure there's things that I'm not including in these types of videos or recordings. So please reach out to me. My cell phone's 859-707-6870. If you don't have it, show up to the live calls Monday at 1. We can talk about it. We can strategize as teams to ask each other what works, doesn't work. Make sure that we're using this thing right here, right? Very underutilized. It's a tool that if I had it, I promise I'd be more organized. My life would be better. I'd have more money in my bank account. The planner, it's simple. I'm telling you, it's simple. Little blocks every day, takes less than 5 minutes. You got your performance, you got your morning 5, you got your urgent to-dos. End of the week, we got a recap. We got a recap with a QR code straight to my freaking calendar, dude. I'm not limiting it. Open it up. Schedule a meeting every week. I'll be there. Use it. I promise. All right? That's session 1. Session 1 of Subprime / Custom Finance. Set the purpose. Understand the why. Make sure that we understand our language is very important. Switch the demeanor and the language that you currently have with your clients. That will massively impact. Gain the trust. Create a process, a written process. Have a champion for the department. Grit matters. You're going to freaking win at massive levels. Let's go.